What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and you check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on a recent episode of First Take, and the question was, can the NBA survive without LeBron James? Right now, these three guys on the panel, you had Wemby, Stephen A, and Perkins, right? And really the only one to me who gave an honest answer and a legitimate answer, in my opinion, was the guy Wemby, right? And so I'm a I'm a play the audio, but then I'm gonna interrupt at certain points so I can give my take on what I think is going on.
Ask this question, at least at this point in the season. But Wendy, I'll start with you. Is the NBA ready for life without LeBron James?
Of course they are. He hasn't gone to the finals the last 5 times. Went through a period where he went to 10 finals over 13 years. The NBA was LeBron. He went to the finals 8 straight years. Wherever LeBron went was the center of the NBA. That hasn't been true for a while now. And we've seen some great teams. We've seen Giannis. Since LeBron last won, we've seen Giannis win. We've seen SGA win. We saw that incredible 2022 Warriors team, which was so meaningful for them in so many different ways. We saw the Celtics come back up with the 2 J's. Like, there's a lot positive going on. Having said that, there's a potentially extraordinarily exciting last chapter of LeBron's career. And we're not going to know how that chapter is going to play out. I know that he keeps getting asked about it, and there's this desire for him to have an answer. He's not going to have an answer right now, okay? He may not even have an answer on July 1st, which is when the new league year will turn over, because he's got to make sure he's there mentally and his body, and he's just not going to know. But guys, if LeBron is willing to play next season and he's willing to take a pay cut, which I suspect he may be open to do that. I have good reason to believe he's willing to do that. The world opens up. If he could go play, maybe he stays in LA and they use that money that comes off of his salary to go get another player. Maybe he goes to another team like Cleveland that could be ready. This is not about LeBron going away with irrelevance. It's potentially about one last amazing moment if he's able to do it.
All right. So he said, first off, he said that the league can survive without LeBron James, which I think is true. I remember when Michael Jordan retired, everybody said the same thing, that, what's going to happen to the league when Michael Jordan retired. And some people said the same thing when Kobe retired, So and I don't believe that any one player is bigger than the league, right? So I respect Wemby's, his answer to that question, because, to me, it seemed more accurate and more honest. Definitely the league will be able to go on and, you'll have other superstars. You see guys who are already stepping up. So definitely, in my opinion, the league will be able to survive without LeBron James.
Can we stop? The man is playing next year. He ain't retiring. The reason why he's not retiring is because he wants to be celebrated. He wants to go on that tour throughout the league and be celebrated. And let me be the first to say, despite what I just said about him and the slam dunk contest, Big Perk, Wendy, it's what he deserves. He deserves to be celebrated. This is one of the top 3 players in the history of basketball who is going to walk away, all right, who is over 40 years of age, who's got 23 years in the league. He is not going to just play through this season and then the season ends and then all of a sudden he shows up like it's over. It's done. No, that's not what he's going to do. He wants to be celebrated and remembered for the greatness that he has put on display for over 20 years. He is the GOAT of longevity. Nobody has been this good for this long in professional sports in history. He is that great. And the bottom line is, by the way, we're talking about the brother like, you know what? There's so much slippage. The brother's still averaging about 22 a game. He can still put up 30 a night whenever he wants to. I mean, he's on the basketball court now because when all else fails, he's still 6'9", 250. He can score inside, he can score outside, he can score in the open court. This is what he can do. And so as a result of that, yeah, the issue is not whether or not he's going to play, it's where he's going to play. It's what I brought up last year. It's what Perk has been singing to everybody who will listen over the past several months. Do you want one last run at the chip? That's the only question about LeBron. Because if you do, you leave the Lakers and you go back to Cleveland.
All right. Now, people say leave the Lakers and go back to Cleveland if you want to win. But I don't think that the Cleveland has more talent. Like if LeBron James goes to Cleveland, I don't think Cleveland is any more talented than the Lakers. You know, the Lakers right now I think are 5th in the West, which is harder. And then you got Cleveland. Let me see where Cleveland is. Where's Cleveland in the East? NBA standings. You know, all right. So Cleveland is so Cleveland is number in an easier conference. They are number 4 in the East. But I don't think that Cleveland has more talent. You know, you got Luka and you have the guy Austin Reeves, and then you got Hachimura, and then you have some more supporting cast. But you got Donovan Mitchell, you got James Harden, and you got the supporting cast around those two guys. I think Luka is, in my opinion, a better ball player than Donovan Mitchell. And so putting LeBron James on that team, and Stephen A. Smith is talking about how many points that LeBron James still score. That don't translate into winning. That's just stat padding. So I don't think that Cleveland team is any better than the Laker team that he's going to. And in my opinion, coming out of the East, they're going to have to play defense. James Harden is not a defender. LeBron James is not a defender. Donovan Mitchell is limited. So if you have those 3 guys on the court at the same time at any point then you're going to be suffering defensively. Even if you put 2 guys out there that are really good defenders, you still got 3 guys that don't play. So it'll be the same thing with LeBron playing with Luka and Austin Reeves, right? You still have 3 guys that don't really play tough, hard defense. So it'll be the same thing. It'll be the same situation. It'll be, LeBron James is just moving over to the East. But Detroit played tough defense in the East. Boston played tough defense. New York played tough defense. And so, they're going to have to, LeBron and his crew is going to have to be able to defend if he go over to Cleveland. And what is, like, the GOAT of longevity? Like, that's a new thing. I just never, I never heard that, the GOAT of longevity. People, it's crazy. People can say you the GOAT of basketball, but the GOAT of longevity?
D. Mitchell. Before they got James Harden, I was like, if LeBron is with D. Mitchell and Mobley and Allen and those boys in Cleveland, they going to the finals. Mm-hmm. They probably could win it all. That's what I said. So if you Harden and Mitchell there, and LeBron finds a way to get
Harden ain't never had no playoff success. Mitchell he had limited playoff success. What is, like, Stephen A. Smith act like that's like a power team or a super team or something like that. It's not. Those 3 don't make that a super team.
Back to Cleveland with Mobley and Allen in place with those 2 brothers and LeBron, they winning it all. They winning it all. So do you want to win another chip, or do you want to chill in Tinseltown because of your off-the-court interest and how being a part of Laker Nation and the Laker brand helps facilitate those opportunities for you? Not that you need it that much because you're LeBron James, but the point is, that's the question. Can we stop this nonsense about retiring? He ain't going to retire because he ain't been celebrated enough this season, and that's not what he wants. He wants to be celebrated. That's why he's coming back next year. Let's stop the breaks. Let's just stop it.
Is the NBA ready for life without LeBron? Hell no. Hell no. They're not. They're not. Look, let me say this. Wendy, you brought up a point about going to the NBA finals and winning championships. That's only a small percentage of what LeBron James has done for the NBA for us carrying the torch and wearing that cape for over 2 decades of being the face of the league. When you just go and look at his social media following, we're talking about over 200 million plus followers. Name me another athlete that's come.
See that, like, who cares about what your following is? Like your social media following. These, like Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. Smith, he the GOAT of longevity. He got 2 million followers. Like that stuff don't translate into success on the court.
Close, or another basketball player, should I say, that's coming close to that. We can't. When you talk about packing out arenas on the road, LeBron James does that in every arena that they put.
Again, that's not true. Ratings and attendance is down. It has dropped. So
up in that's not in crypto.com. He's been doing that for the last 2+ decades.
The fans, even the fans of Los Angeles, like they waiting for this guy to retire and leave. Like a lot of people in Los Angeles don't even want to go to the games. So, and you got Perkins and Stephen A. Smith, just talking, basically just lying.
You talk about jersey sales, when you talk about selling shoes, along with delivering on the floor and making sure you don't disappoint the fans and being available, he has done that. When you talk about things outside of basketball and keeping his resume clean and being able to carry the face and being able to be that positive influence in everybody's life, to all the kids, when it comes down to being a role model, he has checked all the boxes. Do a lot of these guys like a Victor Wembanyama, Anthony Edwards, do they have potential? Absolutely. But let's not sit up here and take for granted.
Man, I don't know. In my opinion, man, of course, I think the league will survive without LeBron James, just like it did without Magic and Bird and Mike and Isaiah and Kobe, Tim Duncan, anybody who was great in the league. Like we have some other great young guys that are in the league now. So definitely the league will survive without LeBron James. But it's just like the hype and that they put around LeBron James and what he has done in the league, man. Like this is the first time I ever heard anybody say the GOAT of longevity, and then people, refer to your social media following. Like they never did Kobe like that. Who cared about how many followers Kobe Bryant had? Who cared about how many followers? Like, wasn't no followers around for Magic and Bird, Isaiah. But that's crazy. That's crazy. This how those guys really expose themselves when they start coming up, try to make up ways to to give LeBron James his flowers when it's undeserved, So that's my take on it. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.